Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my amazing co-host, Phil. How's it going today, Phil?
Very good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I mean, just in general, I'm loving this season. So I
Yeah.
really like talking about each episode. I remember last season, I was just kind of like, oh, do you guys want to go live? Want to talk about it? We're just like, nah, maybe not. But this one, I'm
No.
like, I want to hear what your thoughts are. So I'm really happy to be here with you.
Good. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying this season so much. So much. It's good.
Me too. Well, if this is your first time on Reality Realness, well, then welcome. Please
All right.
subscribe. We're just trying to build a community of people that love talking about reality TV as much as me and Phil do. So
Sweet.
join the club. It's the cool club. Or not Club
Woohoo.
BB.
Club BB. That's what it is.
So with this episode, we just start off with with Christian winning the head of household. So I thought that was a really easy comp. What was your thoughts about that head of household comp? I don't know your opinion yet.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. I thought I don't know. I don't like those like fast puzzle ones where you can't watch everybody at the same time and it's just like all over the place and then it just sort of ends and you're like, I don't know. There wasn't that much excitement about it. I did like the twist that whoever buzzed in last was that because they probably weren't thinking about that as they were doing, but it's all good. Yeah.
Well, for sure. I totally agree with you because, even with the edit of the competition, when we heard the bell ring, it wasn't even on. It was on the Aces, I believe, and it wasn't even on the team that won. And so, I wish that maybe they had. I don't know if they had all just straight ahead cameras and they were flipping back and forth, maybe. So then, I don't know. I don't know how they can do it better, but I totally can. I agree with you that it's hard to
Yeah.
get and enjoy the competition and seeing how well each team is doing and who's in advance, who's advancing further, who's doing better. You can't really tell. It's just blah, 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 somebody wins. So yeah, I feel you there. And I'm also surprised that nobody did the strategy of putting the puzzle pieces on the ground and figuring out the order and then put them on the
Yeah.
poles. Why didn't they do that?
I don't know. Did the Queens really want to win? I don't know if they were even trying to win that one. So okay, they weren't. So I love the fact that Tiffany goes, "Oh, why didn't we do it the way we were going to do it?" I'm like, you weren't even going to try.
Sure, Tiffany. You can't believe you guys lost. Oh, yeah, no way. She knew they were not planning on winning. Yes, we are early today. We're both here. You might as well go early.
Let's
just talk
do
about
it.
this episode while it's fresh in our bones, in our blood. And then I also listen to everybody else that does updates. So I'm going to go and listen to probably Bob right after. So that's another reason too to be early, that I can get 2 in 1 instead of going back and listening to the whole thing. So going on with this episode. So okay, so what do you think about the royal flush?
I like the royal flush. I'm kind of hoping that is the true alliance. Just because I feel like that it's based on gameplay and how they all like each other in the house and that kind of thing. I don't know. This episode made me sort of question whether it's completely a true thing or if the cookout is a stronger thing. I don't know. It's all over the place. I don't know. They're very. I got the vibe that people are really wanting to protect everybody in the cookout. So I'm kind of leaning towards maybe people are more. I don't know. It just feels like that they want the cookout people to stay because I don't think Hannah's in any danger of going. So just putting her up as a pawn might not be a bad thing. But I think they're so worried that something might happen that she might go. But I don't think that they have the numbers to get rid of her. So I don't know.
Though that they didn't show was the fact that kind of Xavier put his foot in his mouth a little bit and got Hannah to be one of the people that was going up against Whitney because he thought that he was saving maybe Ozza and Derek F by proposing that maybe it's whatever. I forget exactly what he did, but then Hannah ended up being the person that's like ideal to sit beside Whitney. And then while this whole thing was hatching, can't unhatch anyway. Sarah Beth is like, no, we need to go for Hannah now. And so Hannah became the target, and Xavier was like, no, that's not what I want. That's not what I want at all. And so he didn't even want Hannah to be on the block. He was hoping that it would be maybe Brittany, but they're saying not Brittany. So the other two jokers was going to be, two other people that he didn't want. So he thought he was fixing the problem, but then it made Hannah become the target in Alyssa, as you can see, and Sarah Beth's eyes. And so that's not what he wants at all.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows? Okay, I feel bad, but I'm happy that she stayed this week, but I didn't need to have the Brittany like diary room super excited to stay segment.
No, I mean, learn from last week when you did it. Like, you could go back on the block. Like, I mean, I was just shocked that she was like, I mean, I get it, she's excited she's staying and everything, but she really did that a week ago and then went back up. It could happen again. Like,
I know. I just was like, I mean, yeah, A, it could happen again, but B, like, I know they're looking to put content of everybody on the show, and they want to show people that are participating in the game. So I get that they need to give her some screen time, but I just found it so annoying. I was like, can I fast forward this part?
Yeah, I'd rather they show Brittany trying to do something different to stay as opposed to her celebrating she didn't go.
Yes, you want to see her talking to people, strategizing, maybe making deals or something, not just like having a really loud diary room session. I am totally with you there. All right, Bibin says they did not discuss Claire's inability to vote as part of her wildcard win. I know, they didn't fully explain the wildcard. We'll get to it more in depth, but like they totally didn't really make it clear as to what the rules are behind that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess she could be immature, but I guess also she's trying to be entertaining in the diary room, I think.
Yeah, I get the vibe also she's finding it hard to relate to anybody. Like, I just don't think she doesn't seem to be part of that world. And I think it goes to this whole, she's a couple weeks behind and everything. She just seems completely not part of what's going on.
The game that she's playing, right now, the game that she's playing is hopefully I don't get nominated and go home. Like, that's the game that she's playing. When everybody's actually like trying to position themselves to a winning position. Totally true. I did love though the celebrations in the storage room with the Kings, and so they're like we're jumping and we're screaming and we're jumping and screaming together, and they're just like jumping around, and someone comes in and they're like, get out, and they're jumping and it's celebrating. I do like the celebration in the storage room.
Yeah, no, I like it. They're a good team. They're fun to watch. I don't think they're completely all together really, but you know.
I mean, that team is very strong, and it's mostly because they have Christian there, because Christian wins as head of household. He's won a lot of competitions up until this point, and he even acknowledges, it's like, yeah, I win the comps, and Alyssa is the brains here. And so it's interesting that Frenchie had gone after them, like, without them even coming together. But to know now that they've actually become this entity that is going to be very challenging to get out. Like, very, very difficult to get out. And I'm wondering if Christian doesn't win and he's open, do you think someone is going to take a shot?
At Christian and Alyssa?
Yeah, Christian and Alyssa.
I think next week there's a good chance that it could happen. I think if anybody that's not a king, I think they have the excuse to go after them, and Christian's the power player on that team from how it looks on paper.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, he's not really, but who it is based on what the real alliances want it to look like.
Well, and I love that, like, we see the diary, but I don't know. I think it was Tiffany said it for sure. It might have been Tiffany and Claire, but I remember Tiffany saying, like, oh, like the royal flush is very real now that Christian won. You know, it's like, oh, of course,
Like,
this is like the only
yeah.
alliance that I now that you're head of household. But like, she might have taken the shot at him if, like, you know, if she had some power. So I love that people aren't completely locked in on these alliances. They're malleable enough to know that, like, hey, I'm going to use this alliance when it's good for me, but I'm also going to use my power when it's good for me. So I like that she's recognizing that.
Yeah, and her true alliance is to herself, which is great.
Right. It is. Well, she really cookout though. She really is doing her best to do that, like on all angles, which is very challenging. She's playing like 2 games in 1. Hi, Sophie. Sophie says it's fun trying to show all of his cards to everyone in the house, kind of like Derek did when he won Big Brother seasons ago. So are you saying that you think that Xavier is put himself in a line to winning, kind of like Derek Levasseur? I don't know if Xavier's game is as good as Derek's. I don't love Derek at all. I'm not a Derek stan at all, but he had a much smoother ride, I think, than Xavier's having. He hasn't juggled as many balls as Xavier, like Derek didn't have to juggle as many balls as Xavier's juggling. Derek didn't have as many game players as Xavier's juggling, or playing with. So I don't know if the game is the same, but he's definitely playing under the radar, and I don't think that anybody realizes he's playing as much as he is.
I think this is a good week for him because he's getting like a test, right? Like, we know Whitney is probably the target this week, but what is going to happen when these people like a Hannah go up and are actually in danger? And I think he's getting that test of how will he talk to his team about it, which is good. And, you know, he's trying to shape their minds the way he wants it to go.
That's something I was going to say too, with like no matter what, Hannah's going to be safe because the cookout would all vote for her. I think they don't want to reveal that they're going to vote in solidarity if the house isn't agreeing with them. So if they say that Whitney is the target and then they're like, well, we're going to save Hannah and no matter what, it's just going to out them all working together. And so that's one of the reasons why they just don't want Hannah to be the target, so that then, you know, they can still be hiding their alliance.
Yeah.
Christian has the Cody miss. You think the Cody Calafiore missed? He won't be anytime soon. You think so, Bean?
You know, I get a vibe like Chris. I think he'll go now further than Alyssa will. I think Alyssa might be the person that goes out of those 2 first.
I can see that. Because Tiffany wants to keep Christian in, and it's probably because he can be a shield and then win stuff and keep her safe as well. And people are are more likely to take a shot at Alyssa. And so if it's Alyssa and Christian on the block, I do think Christian would stay.
Wow.
I do.
Yeah.
So Sophie's saying, oh, yes. Well, yes, Xavier lied about his job, but people have kind of sussed him out a little bit. Like, they kind of were like, yeah, you could be a lawyer. I could see you being a lawyer. So he hasn't been as smooth as Derek has been with that. Totally, though, he does have the Tyler Crispin vibes. He's getting that kind of edit. I don't think he'll make it all the way to the end because Tyler was also really good strategically, but he's winning a lot of competitions. Like, he's good at these random games.
Yeah.
Hi, Eddie. Thanks for joining us. Tiffany loves Christian. She wouldn't let anyone touch him. I mean, I see her letting him on the block, but I think that she would save him in the vote.
Okay, so that's like feed information there, because I did not know that those 2 were that close. So that's good. Good to know.
Will it come out? I don't know if they'll show it ever, but I think there's a final 4 that was made with Christian, Alyssa, Claire, and Tiffany. And so that's something else that they've made. Did they name it? I can't remember right now if they named that one. Tiffany and Claire also have an alliance now, official, and they've named it. It's Snake Eyes.
That doesn't surprise me. Claire and Tiffany get along quite well. I do think that that's a strong one. So
definitely, they're a strong duo, and we'll get to why I'm happy about how things ended up this episode. Sarah Beth lied about her job too. She is threatened by Hannah because she will be a doctor too. Is she in med school? No, I can't remember. Is that what Hannah's doing? Or doctor?
Some kind of scientist, wasn't she? But something medical. Yeah. So maybe I don't know for sure.
I kind of want to have doctor beside my name.
Yeah. Oh, just put it there.
I want to have some letters though, so maybe I'm gonna have to go back to school. I've been thinking about going back to become a lawyer as well recently. Not recently. I've always wanted.
I think whatever it is, you should have 3 S's on the very end.
Of course, it's my tagline now, like Chantele Francis with 3 S's.
S's.
Oh, okay. So Hannah is 21 and pre-med. Wow, that's great. That's smart. That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I never went that route, but like I thought of maybe doing the naturopath route, but I've always liked law stuff as opposed to medical stuff. That's my deal. Okay, so Derek F was so mad that he lost the head of household competition. What are your thoughts on Derek F this season?
Well, I'm not missing any episodes where he's laying on that couch in the bedroom. He seems to really be attached to that couch. I don't know. I mean, I was hoping for more from him. I'm getting what my original thought was. I think we said this when we were doing our draft picks, and that I was getting kind of the vibes that I don't think he's. I don't know. I just don't think he's got what it takes to go to the end of this game. Like, I think he's going to cause some drama. I really do see some sort of breakdown coming out, that he's going to get upset about something. He wasn't in any danger, and he's complaining about things in this episode.
And he hasn't done anything. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but him and Christian both combined messed up the blind side of Brent. Like, they, for the whole week, they were playing off that like Brent like was staying, and it was like a ruse, that they're like, oh, we're gonna pretend like you're going, but you're really staying, but he's really going. And they played it up the whole week. And the last day, Derek F. first, he says, like, I don't think you have the votes. And so I was like, right. And so I was kind of playing off like, well, maybe he wouldn't have been tipped off by that. He might be like, well, maybe Derek doesn't know what the real plan is because
what's going on. Right.
So that didn't fully tip him off, I don't think. But then the nail in the coffin was Christian says to him something to the effect of, yeah, the girls think that we're not so smart just because they got 3 guys out in a row. And Brent's like, 3 guys out in a row? What? And so
do we think he picked up?
So he knew. Well, he definitely had 2 instances where he was clued into the idea that he might not be staying, like he thought. And so I really wanted to see that blind side, because he was supposed to turn to Xavier and be like, checkmate.
Right. And so Xavier could have done it back to him, right? That would have been checkmate.
Like, sorry, I mean, checkmate. Yeah. So he stole that moment, and I'm just like irritated. I'm like, you haven't offered anything into the show other than not being able to vote. Did you see my video?
No, I didn't. No.
You didn't see the video that I made? Well, somebody made the beginning of it, and then hold on. Somebody made the compilation, and then I made a TikTok for it. So hold on a sec. Let me show you the video. This is the only thing that he's contributed so far, in my opinion. Hold up. Okay, let's get that ready. Is it here? Okay, let me see if you can see it here. Can you see? Hold on. No, frack. It's not letting me show that screen. I wonder why. Why Why not this stream? Okay, let me try this again. I know the suspense is killing you, but
we're all on pins and needles here.
Everybody else has seen it, I think. Why are you being difficult? Oh, maybe it's a different window. Okay, it's here now. Okay. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay.
I cast to evict Alyssa. I sadly to evict Brittany. Sadly to evoke Brent. I cast to evict Alyssa. I sadly to evict Brittany.
Yeah.
Sadly to evoke Brent. I cast to evict
I put it
Alyssa.
on the loop, obviously, but I thought that was hilarious.
Very true. I commented that on Thursday when watching it. I was like, you know what? Like, why can't he just say I vote to evict? He doesn't seem to get it right.
But it's like clearly you're not a super fan, because like that's just something that you in your head, like you just know the sound of that. Even Julie will lob that to you and be like, who do you cast your vote to evict? I vote to evict so-and-so. Yeah. I sadly vote to evict so-and-so. So the fact that he hasn't been able to put it together in the right order is very, I mean, I want it to continue the whole season, because I find it humorous. Especially because it's such a trope of the game. Like, you know, everybody knows. I mean, if they've seen one episode.
I thought he did like know the show. Oh, well, but I guess maybe only from when they're put in isolation before the show starts. Maybe that's how he knows it.
Yes.
I don't know.
Definitely. Okay, so Sophie, can you keep up with all the drafts that you were part of regarding? No, not really. I'm losing people left, right, and center. I might be able to pull up this draft. I actually forgot about this draft. So was Brent on my team?
I think you're good, though. You still have 3. You've got Claire,
Kyle, and Alyssa.
And Alyssa, I think. Yeah. You the only one you lost Travis at the beginning. I just lost Brent. And my team's not looking too good. I think I'm losing Whitney this week. And Brittany is not shaping. I'm Team X. I'm hoping for Xavier. Let's go, Xavier.
Oh, Xavier's the only guy that's like gonna like you have all your faith in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wouldn't you agree? Like Whitney. I mean, when Whitney says, "I don't know who the target is this week," I mean, wake up, Whitney. Like it's you. And Brittany. I mean, Brittany has not been. I'm not cheering for Brittany, so I'm Team X. Team Xavier.
All in on Xavier. Is Phil paying homage to the Wildcard comp with his champagne glass in the background? Absolutely.
Every Sunday. No, there was another one with olives, but it didn't have this lovely little thing here. I like that too. So every week I'm trying to put something from the episode in the back for you, Chantele.
Thank you. We appreciate your efforts here. It looks great. It's fabulous. Fabulous. All right, so what you call it? Okay, so Azza, I thought was really great with talking to Derek when he was like kind of down and out, and he was like, "Oh, like you didn't win anything," and she's like, "Go out there and put on a happy face and like don't pretend like you're down." And it's like, at least she's recognizing this here, because I haven't been very impressed by her gameplay. And so I'm happy that she's at least recognizing like, hey, this is not good for us if you start moping right away because you lost a competition. Like, you got to go play nice and be like excited, be like, oh my God, awesome. Like, so at least she's playing a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with Derek. If I'm getting the vibe, like at some point he's going to crack and be like, but I want to be the person that's making the decision. Like, what's happening?
Yes.
I don't see him being I don't see him liking being passive in the game.
Yes, but like, then win.
Then win and stop being passive in the game. But I don't, you know, like his version of being passive in the game. Like he wants to make decisions that I don't think he wants to get up from the couch, but like he's passive. Like, you know, it's sad.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I want to see more. He seems like he would be funny, but then when he's talking to Whitney, I don't know. They made that seem like it was funny, but to me, that was a little bit of an awkward conversation with Whitney when they were talking about that.
That they even.
I was like,
I thought it was.
I was like, I don't like this.
I didn't think that they should have showed that conversation.
Yeah.
Because like it's just kind of him telling her what she should and shouldn't wear, and that her taste for like, and commenting on her taste level for what she wears to the gym, and like she was making light of it and she didn't seem offended by it, but like, who are you, Derek, to like tell me what I should wear to the gym? Like, she wants to look cute when she was fine.
It almost turned into like that Big Brother Canada season 5 when Netta was like, okay, everybody make fun of Cindy for something, right? And instead it was like, okay, everybody tell Whitney they'd never wear her outfit like out. And it was just like, you know, when she wants to wear that, let her wear it. Like, this season right now, the season seems to be going across as the season where we're accepting people, right? And, you know, if she wants to wear it, like, I don't know. Do we need to be like making fun of her? And it just felt like CBS was making fun of her, and that's the reason they're going after her. And I'm like, come on, we're smarter than that.
Like, obviously, I don't think that he needs to have that conversation at all. But if it happened in the house, fine. But the fact that they aired it, and it was very long. Yeah. Like, it was a long segment. I was like, there's so much more that you could have showed.
And they didn't mind zooming in, like, on the outfit to make their point. Like, it was like, okay, like, we get it. Like, CBS, you seem to have a problem with this outfit.
I mean, like, whatever. Okay, you found a way to look cute going to the gym. Get it. Like, what, Derek, who are you? You're the fashion gym police? You, like, you know, you go to the gym often? I probably would have come back with that. Like, well, what do you wear to the gym, Derek? I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed if he had come for me about my outfit. It's like, I don't know. I wouldn't have handled it as well as she did, but I definitely don't think that CBS should have aired it at all. So a little bit more of Derek F. moping. So Hannah, though, says, like, this was a telling thing. Like, it's all these things that you should never say in the diary room because they're going to flip it together on weeks where you're in danger. And Hannah says in the diary room that I don't care for Christian that much on a personal level, but she doesn't feel like she's in any danger. And I was like, well, no matter what, if you don't care for somebody on a personal level, they probably don't care for you on a personal level. So that means the feeling's most likely going to be mutual. There's not, in most cases, somebody's not pining away for you and like you're just like, oh, I don't like them, like, unless it's like a love interest type thing. But in these type of games, you want everybody, you want to be on a good personal relationship with everybody.
Yeah. If you utter the words, I haven't talked to this person much, why are you going to get shocked that they're going to put you up in week 4?
Exactly.
Like, you need to talk to everybody. Something, especially in a team-based thing right now. Why aren't people talking? Everybody should have talked by now.
Well, and also though, Whitney dropped the ball here as well. Like, why is she saying, like, I have no idea who Christian would nominate? It's like, if you have no idea, it's probably going to be you.
It's you.
It's like, you want to know everybody's strategy, their targets, like who they're aiming at. That would be my MO. I would want to know how every single person is playing their game. Either I have influence, or I'm working with them, or I just am knowledgeable of where their game, like where they're targeting. So the fact that she has no idea, that means to me, she's not playing the game and talking to enough people, because probably about a good 10 people know who is going to be nominated.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree.
So we do see them in the King's chat, and Christian didn't realize that because he finished the puzzle and rang the buzzer that he was the winner. So I'm like, oh my God, so you didn't even mean to win, and like you still won. It's like an accident. I'll win every single competition.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
maybe that's a good strategy. Maybe that's good. It makes people think, okay, they're not completely smart. Maybe they didn't know that they won.
I mean, I do think that it makes Alyssa look like the brains, and the brains is more dangerous to take out of the competition. So if it's an act, like, that's smart, but I don't think it's an act. So the cameras are always following Whitney. She even complained about it, LOL. Producers like her, LOL. So Alyssa, this is where Alyssa kind of comes out and says that she thinks Whitney can easily be manipulated, and they think that Hannah is much smarter than Whitney is. And Sarah Beth was doubling down with Alyssa here, being like, I'm more scared of Hannah than I am of Whitney. And then they started having the meetings, and everybody was kind of being like, Whitney's got to go, Whitney's got to go, Whitney's got to go. And Alyssa, rightly so, is like, well, if every single person wants Whitney, why are we doing their dirty work? And I think it's a fair question, and I wouldn't be doing what the house wants. What
I think, I mean, that does show that Alyssa is a smart player. She does know what's going on. And I mean, and Sarah Beth, they're both figuring it out. I don't think they're completely onto that there's a giant alliance in the house and everything other than theirs. But yeah, they're right. If we're a strong team of kings here, we should be on the same page about this. And why isn't one person not on that page? Like, why is there a reason why everybody wants to keep Hannah? Like, keep digging, you two, figure it out. Because for them, they need to figure that out. Like, I mean, I know people want to see certain people go well in the game, but if Sarah and Alyssa want to win, they need to figure that out. And so it's good that they're thinking that way, because we do want to see people mix it up and figure it out, because otherwise it's going to be boring. Like, we want to see people making some moves.
And also, though, Alyssa had a really great point, being like, well, if we take out Hannah instead of Whitney, and the house target is still Whitney, that means that they're less likely to put two of us up next week. They'll put one of us and Whitney, and we could potentially stay intact as a foursome. So I think that that's also a really strong point. And I'm surprised that, people don't seem to be really agreeing with them with this. Obviously, we know that Xavier's not going to. He's doing his best to make sure Hannah's not the target. But even Christian should be hearing this. But as we learn, he has a decent relationship with Hannah, even though she doesn't care for him on a personal level.
Yeah. I mean, the reverse side of that is, they are, if they go against what the whole house wants, they are putting the targets on themselves. Yeah. I mean, I get why Xavier also doesn't want to do it, because he knows that she's probably not going this week, but then next week when the talk happens, they're going to be more into, well, then let's put Hannah up again, and this time let's get rid of her. And then he'll have to make that decision of his team or the cookout. So,
I mean, he'll side with the cookout for sure.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing here, especially he's calling Hannah his little sister. I don't feel like he will allow her to go out easily,
Yeah.
Nice moment I thought was Derek X was in the hammock, and he was talking to Azza. I think Whitney was there as well. I'm not sure if there's anybody else there, and just talking about his family, and he's not that close with his family because his family are born in China, and he was born in America, and so there's a big cultural gap. And so he was saying that Azza might have some relate to that a little bit as well, and she did, saying that she's from an African family. She's like American, and she got made fun of a lot for her skin color when she's grown up a lot. But now, like, she's kind of become an adult, she's starting to realize, where she can fit as an African American person. So I thought that was a really nice moment. And it was good to see it in a way that was not preachy in any sort of way. It was just like people sharing where they came from, what their experiences have been. And so it just would be very easily palatable for anybody to be watching it without feeling as though it was a segment about race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Now, when I was watching it, I wanted to ask you, because you know more about the feeds and how the game's going and everything. What is the relationship between Derek X and the cookout?
I think that he's an honorary cookout, but like he's next to Hannah.
Okay.
The next person that's kind of like protected by the cookout. Okay. Also, Azza just recently started to become a little more close with him, which I think is really good. And and Tiffany really wants to protect him. So I think she's in another kind of alliance with him as well to move further along. I don't think that the Cookout will ever take him out over, unless it was against another Cookout member, but he's in it as well, but not officially. But I think we're protecting him. The combos are, just kidding. I meant this one. Hi, Natalie. So over some of these BB21 people. What do you mean? What happened? What are you talking about? BB21?
Ooh.
Tyler?
Ooh.
Is that 21? No.
21, no, was Mickey.
Grateful.
Mickey's year. The year with all the racism, what came back, the BB15 part 2.
What, did something happen in social media, Natalie? Where did this stem from?
Are they complaining about how this season is compared to theirs? Is that...
Sophie wants to see a lesbian showmance to finally happen on Big Brother.
Yeah.
See that? I mean, it could happen. Who knows? Now that we're moving towards having more diversity on the season, so it's much more possible now than ever. So maybe next season you're going to see it.
Yeah, I mean, let's get these shows where there's more people from different communities. The reason I asked about Derek X was just because, like, I mean, I'm kind of seeing him from what we're seeing on the show. He seems to be in his own world, and I'm like, I hope the Cookout is also looking out for him as well, because if they go that way with that message of, like, we're giving some of the people who haven't had a chance in the past get this chance, I want to see Derek also get that opportunity, because
yes, Bean, it did happen on Bachelor in Paradise with Demi. And the girl's name was Christian, actually. There was a little lesbian moment there. So yeah, it doesn't really happen that much though on Big Brother. And there's never really an opportunity, really. It was almost going to happen on Love Island season 1. There were 2 women that were open. Maybe, I don't know if they were considered bi, but they're just like definitely pansexual. And so I think that there was a little bit of flirtation in a couple of dates that happened. So that is a CBS show. So it's possible. Yeah. It's between Kira and somebody else.
Possible.
Can't remember. Okay, what else happened in this episode? Okay, we got the wild card. Someone pointed it out before, but I never noticed the wild card music. I noticed it obviously this week.
No?
All headbanging to it.
Yeah.
But before this week, somebody else mentioned it. I'm like, oh, there's like a whole song. And like I never paid attention to it.
Yeah, I think last week they did a little dance to it too, if I remember. But yeah, no, it was. I mean, whatever. It's like the baby takeover music.
We got a takeover.
And yeah. So it's fun that they do it. That's fun.
It's funny that I just never noticed it until actually noticed it this week because it was pointed out. And then I'm noticing them headbanging to this song. And I'm like, wow, I really didn't mention before. Oopsies. I mean, Australia Bachelorette. Okay, yeah. But they did on Bachelor in Paradise, though, have Christian and a girl, Christian and Demi. They did leave Paradise together as a couple. And that was the first time that had happened. So that's a thing. But yes, there is a bisexual woman who is the Bachelorette in Australia. That is correct. And that is the first time that has happened. Very cool.
They did have something similar to that. Tila Tequila, right? Wasn't that that had a bisexual? Yeah.
Something about it was fake though, she wasn't actually bi, or I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
And I think Tila got canceled as well. She said something. I can't remember why she got canceled, but Tila.
I can imagine.
But what could be interesting is Natalie from BB17 is, I don't know if I think she's pan and has had relationships with women at this point now too. So.
Oh, okay.
So maybe she.
The one who was dating James on Big Brother?
That one, that girl, yeah.
That one, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So maybe she came back on the show. That might be a thing. You never know.
Never know.
Maybe her and Casey. Actually, Casey. Oh, you don't watch the challenge, but Casey's kind of seeing Nani, which is another woman right now. It's always dating the show, and so this girl Nani might have been the reason why Casey and her girlfriend broke up. Ugh! But anyways, that's another podcast. You start watching the challenge. Just so you know, JoJo did watch the challenge, and he caught up. He's on like season 29, I think. So he started at 11 and he went to 29. And so when we challenged him, he did it.
All right.
It's your turn.
He took the challenge.
Yes, take the challenge, please. So the wildcard competition was basically like a table maze with a ball on it. It was a martini glass at the BB Club. Is that what it's called? The people playing Whitney, Claire, and Azza. And yeah, for the Club BB, they have like it looks like an olive glass, and they have a martini glass, and it has an olive on like the going up the stem in an interesting shape. Very tricky to maneuver on this table maze type thing, and you have to get it into the straw. The was it toothpick?
Yeah, was it the toothpick or the straw? One or the other.
What do I call it?
Stir stick, maybe.
I wrote toothpick, so toothpick at the end. So not that hard. And Derek F said that he didn't think that he could beat Whitney, and so that's why he chose not to do it. But I think that this would be something that he could be very good at. He
could have done, yeah. Actually, I agree with that.
It's because it seems like it takes it's a little bit weighted. We saw last season that the women had a little bit more trouble doing the table maze in the first head of household comp of the season. So I do think that with his strength, he would just be able to maneuver it just a little bit easier and a little bit faster than the women. So I think that was a misstep in him not going for that particular one.
Yeah.
But they did it. It was. I thought it was hilarious.
It was a good challenge. We got to watch it. We actually got to see it play out, and that was nice to see. And they got to watch it play out, which is fun.
I love them watching it. I didn't realize that they were all in the same room, because when you're seeing them watching it, it was like close-ups on each person. So I wish maybe they did like a 3-split screen for them. Like I think that would have been better to just see how each person is doing. That would have been, in my opinion, more interesting for the people in the house watching these comps, instead of like when they decide to switch and watch between the different players.
Right.
I laughed quite a bit though with how slow Azza was going.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually was going to say, since you said that we had 3 people playing in that challenge, I was going to say, was Azza really playing? I don't know if that counts as playing. I don't know. I think you have to get the ball at a certain point down the thing.
Well, it's just like even Xavier was just like, I don't think that ball's moving. It was funny.
She got a flat square or something. It wasn't rolling at all.
How did you like the title? Olive Shook Up.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Go Big Brother.
Every once in a while, they're going to have the lights go out, but they seem to be able to still see the board.
They were flickering.
So it wasn't actually that difficult, I don't think. I thought it would be worse. But Claire wins, and Claire wins the best wild card. And she was the only person that was even eligible to play out of her team. And she had to choose between safety for herself and her team this week or safety for herself till jury. No brainer, but they made it seem like she had to think about it. What would you have done?
Yeah. I mean, I would have done the jury, I believe. That's what I would have done in this case. But I will say it depends on how the game is and like what information you know in the game. And I think Claire does know information of who's with who, and I think she knew her 2 teammates are not going to be in any danger. If you get that option and it does put one of your teammates in danger, you've got also, well, then how am I going to work with that so it's not a fight between me and my teammate for making that decision? But it's only 1 week, and the jury, I mean, I think it's going to be at least 2 weeks away starting, probably maybe even a little bit more. So, I mean, it really did feel like it was a no-brainer, to me at least.
I think it was a no-brainer to me. Yes, you're in teams, but you are in the game for yourself. I don't think
Yeah.
Claire knew how good it is that she got this, because with some of Tiffany's plans, I don't know if they're going to show this ever on the episode, but one of her ideas is to have to get the cookout to the final 6, that they each have their own person that's not in the cookout. So she has Claire, Kylan has Sarah Beth, Derek F and Azza have Brittany, Hannah has Derek X, and is that everybody? And so they all have their own kind of parachute, right? And so to get all them to the 6, they're each going to have to let go of their parachute person at some point. And so she was willing to let go of Claire to keep the cookout together, and she wouldn't want to actually do that, but if she was forced to, she would have to let her go. So this just takes Claire off the table, off the board, so Tiffany doesn't have to be worrying about Claire's safety anymore. And like, I know she has been saying she wants to take the cookout to the final 6. I think jury's good enough. Like, I think a jury having 6 people in the cookout, in the jury, no matter what,
it's huge.
That's amazing. I don't think you need to go and get to the final 6, because I think if she goes to the final 6, it takes away her shot at actually winning.
Yeah. And it changes the story in it's maybe more alliance. We did this as a group for this reason, and it's less about each individual's gameplay to get to the end. Like, it was a block thing. I'm surprised, because I do feel a little bit like Tiffany in the back of her head is like, how do I use Claire at some point to position myself better in the game against the cookout, other cookout people? So
she needs Claire to take out like a Kylan. She's very close to Kylan. She has a final 2 with Kylan, but Kylan is set up a little bit better than Tiffany is. And so it might be beneficial if Claire just has to get rid of him, or like somebody else that's not the cookout. So she's definitely thinking ahead. I would say that she wants to have other people to take those shots that she's not going to take herself, but she's hoping that other people will. And I think Christian's another type of person that maybe...
I was just going to say, that's probably why she's getting closer with Christian as well, because if he wins challenges, he can take out somebody that she could whisper to him to do. Maybe not right now, but once we've hit that jury part, and that's the time to start doing that. So
absolutely.
Wow.
So I love Queens though dancing in the storage room. They're obviously my favorite team. I'm on my other draft with Couch Potato Queens. I have all 3 of them, so I'm like so pumped. Like, they're my favorite people in the game. They're playing the most, and they're all on the same team, and they're all on one of my drafts. So I'm like loving it big time. They're having a little dance in the storage room. Claire says that she's sorry, and we hear Tiffany have a confessional being like, there's no way she should be sorry. Like, obviously I want to know that I'm safe, but like, she needs to go and take this 2-week safety. I'd be almost mad if she did. I'd be mad if she did.
Yep.
It's something she had to do. So I love when, like, coming into the room, the head of household room where the kings were, you see Elizabeth like, hey, jury member, how are you, jury member? Which I think is cute. It was one of the things I love about these games is that you become a little family. And so, like, these teasing with these people, like, you didn't know them a month and a half ago. Like, these are new people that are part of your life story. And so I just thought it was cute to seeing, like, they had a little bit of friendly banter going and teasing Claire a little bit about, like, hey, jury member. It just reminded me of, like, they were making real friendships, and, like, there's real relationships with people that were strangers weeks ago.
Have you noticed on the feeds, have any of the other teams who aren't on the Queens been like, that's kind of suspicious that she took that? Like, oh, wow, she did that to her team members?
I mean, I haven't watched the feeds in the last couple of days. I've looked at updates and, like, Twitter and stuff, but I think everybody knows that is the move. Like, you take it, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, you take it, because it would be very easy for people to be like, oh, the Queens are so strong. Like, everybody loves the Queens. Why are the Queens never in anybody's mouths, like, for conversation of people to put up? Like, it's only between the Aces and the Joker. What about the Queens? And so it is good that she took it because I think that she would be an easy target if people want to target the queens. And if it's two queens that were
She's
up,
the queen they'd go for. Yeah.
exactly. So it was great. I think a great move. And I think that people respect that if you get given a gift from Big Brother and she's a super fan, just knowing that you make it to jury, I think is such like, it just made me so happy. I would 100% take it. And then
yeah,
also it's easier for her to make even moves as well, right? Because she's not worried about her own safety at this point, and she could like take a big leap.
Now we were talking about this at the beginning. Now one of the viewers commented so there's more to the things, like she can't vote.
Can't vote is what I know. I don't know if she can play for head of household or not. I'm not sure. She does play for veto. Spoiler alert. So she must be allowed to play in at least a veto competition. I'm assuming she would also be able to play for head of household, and that she could be head of household. But she can't vote apparently, and I guess she can't be nominated apparently.
So this is kind of like the Golden Key, Big Brother 13, like when one partner would get voted out and the other one would get a golden key and make it to jury.
Oh, I don't even remember that, but yeah, it sounds like it. Definitely a golden key.
Okay, cool.
So, we see that the queens are talking to the kings, and this is where they're like, we're noticing that Sarah Beth and Alyssa pretty aggressively want Hannah out, and the queens are trying to be subtle about it and be like, well, we want Hannah to stay. We think Whitney's a bigger threat. And I do love, though, that Kylan, even though it's in his best interest to keep Hannah, he's like, but no matter what, as long as it's nobody from the royal flush, we're okay with it. And like he kind of left it at that. And same with Tiffany. She was like, like it doesn't really matter, but these are my reasons why. And I like that they weren't pushing too hard.
So what is Whitney like thinking is happening when all of these people are meeting and she's not in any of these meetings?
Well, they did have their meeting. They had the aces.
Okay, they had their aces. But like I guess because Derek X wasn't in that room. So yeah, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how they're able to. I think that's probably why they've been doing a lot of team meetings, is because it hides the alliance having a big thing.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, anything else about that? No. Okay. So yeah, sorry. Tiffany said that Brittany is a legitimate reason to nominate. Has a legitimate reason to nominate Kylan and Xavier, and I thought that was a very smart ploy. So like, let's just not even talk about Hannah anymore. Let's talk about Brittany as an option here. She could very easily, and nobody would behoove her for putting up Xavier and Kylan, because they did put her on the block. And so I thought it was a good point to counter any of the other two arguments. So she's just so smart. I'm like,
so smart. And the way she said it was so smart. Like it wasn't, Christian, you know what you should do. It was, I was thinking about it, and like, and if I had won head of household, or if I'm going to win it next week, this is the person I'm going to go after, and this is why I think we all should go after this person. Like she's very smart. And it was also like hey X, hey Kylan, I'm looking out for you here. Like very smart while they're in the room.
Exactly. Because I want to keep everybody in this alliance intact here. We don't want to leave people in the house that are coming after our people. Even though Sarah Beth does seem to think that Hannah is coming for her. I haven't really seen any evidence of that as of yet. I don't remember. You guys in the chat might be able to remind me here, but I haven't seen Hannah say anything about Sarah Beth, but she must be feeling it for a reason. So I don't know. Okay, so when the Jokers go in, I thought it was funny that they all said Whitney, but they were just like the W. I just don't want to say the name. I'm like, is it because you don't want anybody to hear you say the name? Because if you say the W and there's not that many people with the W in the house, like they would know you're talking about Whitney. It's not that subtle.
yeah, I mean, the W is a name.
Exactly. You'd figure it out pretty.
You're calling a person. You're saying a name.
You are saying a name. We know who you're talking about, Azza. So Xavier hates that his team is smart, though, because this is where Alyssa came in and was just like, hey, like, why are we taking out the house like Target? We should take out somebody else just to give us some safety potentially next week. So I like that he's recognizing that he can't just like pull the wool really easily over his team's eyes, that they're going to be coming up to some resistance here. Like, they're not just going to allow them to steamroll through the game and just like get rid of them with ease. So smart. Okay, so last conversation with Hannah and Christian, I thought she did a very good job from what they showed us on this episode, where he basically tells her that he's putting her up as a pawn, and she's like, people on the Jokers, they will put one of you two up. She's like, you have a friend in me. We've been building a bond, a friendship for these last few weeks. I wouldn't put you up. I'm like, I wouldn't do this to you. I wouldn't put you as a pawn. And I thought that she was quite compelling from what they showed in this argument. What do you think? Do you think that she could have said more, or how do you think her pitch was here?
Yeah, I think she could have. I mean, I don't know. I mean, she said she doesn't talk to him very much, right? So you've got to be careful. You don't want to make it sound too phony. It was funny what she was saying. Basically, she was explaining who she is with Christian. Like, she was like, like, maybe they're just talking to you today for the first time. Maybe it's strategy. It's like, well, that's what you're doing.
Well, she must talk to him more, though, than the Jokers, is what it's getting at.
Yeah. And
the Jokers would go for him. If they were gunning for him.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe not Brittany, but definitely Azza and Derek F.
I think a bunch of them would. Like, Hannah probably would have gone for him too, right? Like,
I can't remember what she was considering doing.
What she was planning on doing.
I don't remember.
Although a lot of them want Whitney, right? This round, they want Whitney gone.
Hannah's very smart. Sorry.
Hannah can't go for Whitney, can she? So
not this week. Maybe next week, though. Well, no, maybe not. Hannah's very smart. That's why she should get evicted before jury. Or if she makes it all the way to the end, she could win, or could cost whoever at the end the whole game if she was a juror. I mean, I don't think that Hannah can get to the end. I don't think she's playing a good enough game to get to the end. I think that people are willing to take her out. I don't think she's solidified herself into any alliance super strong. Like, she's kind of an honorary member of the Cookout. Azza wasn't considering her to be a member of the Cookout. I don't think yet. I don't think she thinks she's in there yet. And so she's not really in that alliance. I do feel, though, Xavier is protecting her, and she does have the production of the Cookout, but she didn't realize that she was in any danger this week. If you saw the feeds last week, she was like, I'm not going to win head of household. I think that I'm good for the next 2 weeks. And she wasn't good for the next 2 weeks. So she doesn't really have that great of a read. I do think that how she framed things to Christian was good, but as we learn, it didn't work because Christian does still put her on the block. So I don't know if I see her winning right now, not with the people that are still left in the house.
Yeah. No. I don't think there's any way.
Is that it? And yeah, so
I'm going to be down to 2 players on this draft.
Oh no! And it's what, Xavier and Brittany?
Yeah, go Xavier.
Go Xavier. So yeah, we learned at the end of the episode, Hannah and Whitney will be the 2 people on the block this week. And Hannah, in her outgoing confessional, is coming for Christian and Alyssa now. He did make an enemy out of her, and I don't know if she would have been an enemy beforehand. She might have been convinced to do something another way, and now she's like, well, you were willing to have me go, and so that says a lot. So hopefully it gives her a little bit more like fight. Hopefully.
Let's hope.
There was some Whitney Derek X drama today. Derek X made a comment to her and it pissed her off. Tell me do you know what was said, Natalie? And is it on Twitter? Can I find it on Twitter? So was there anything else about the episode you want to chat about, Phil?
Well, now that Natalie's back on, because she left that comment, what was the Big Brother 21 stuff?
Oh, yes,
is
Natalie.
Natalie on?
Natalie, also, what was the Big Brother 21 stuff that you were talking about beforehand? Free Britney, guest Vaughn. Thank you.
She's safe this round. She's not going anywhere. Too bad.
I feel bad, but there's no way I could. There's not one way I could see her winning this game. Not this particular season.
No. Yeah. I actually, I don't know. I kind of would prefer Whitney to stay. I think. I don't know. Brittany bothers me. Yeah.
Oh, Whitney. Oh, Brittany was gone over. I thought you were saying over Hannah. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Yes, Chantele. I mean, I don't know if I have the winner. I don't have Tiffany with us, so I feel like Tiffany.
No, I think Jojo has Tiffany, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Jojo got her pretty early.
Team is Tiffany, Azza, Derek F, and Derek X. So he has everybody intact, but I don't know. Like Tiffany's the only one that I have a lot of faith in, and maybe Derek X has I have some faith in. But Derek F and Azza, I don't have any faith in them winning.
No.
And then Jonathan, I guess, has Christian.
Who has Sarah Beth?
Or you have Sarah Beth.
Okay.
No, he has Sarah Beth.
Nope. Yeah.
And who else? Oh, he had Frenchie.
Yes.
I didn't
All
know.
right.
Well, Natalie didn't seem to hear us, but Natalie, if you could maybe put it in the comments section when you get a chance, just to let us know what was the Big Brother 21 drama that happened and what happened with Whitney and Derek.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll hear about it. I'll go on Twitter and I'll find it. But if you can let us know right now or in the chat. Phil, what do you have going on?
Nothing too crazy. No, nothing too crazy this week. Pretty fun, pretty boring.
Do you know when
watching lots of shows? When my next what?
Tag game.
Tag game. We're probably going to be doing one in September. We're taking August off, but September. The summer, gets a bit quieter. People aren't as much online, so. But yeah.
I get it. And how's how's Australia Survivor?
It's been good. They are focusing on certain players like they usually do. But it's been good. Some surprise people have gone. Some good blind sides have been happening, which is great.
And so, okay, so what do you know anything about what's happened next? Do you want to know who wins the veto and all that stuff?
I do know who wins the veto.
You know. Okay, so we're just going to talk about it. So if
I'm
you don't
forgetting.
Spoilers, that's the end of our recap today, guys. We'll just briefly talk about who has won the veto. And so if you do not want to hear this, sayonara. We will see you on Wednesday where we'll talk about the veto competition and whether they use it or not. So thank you so much for hanging out with us on Reality Realness with 3 S's. So sign out. And the winner of the veto is Christian.
Wow. Yeah. No, I mean, did he need it? I don't know, but go for it, Christian. Put that target on yourself.
Put that target on your back, absolutely. Yeah. But I kind of wanted, not that I want the cookout to break up, right? But I kind of wanted Whitney Whitney to win it, because then most likely Azza would have been put up, because Azza has said out loud that she was going to target Christian, just because both of them have been saying like Azza was willing to put herself on the block a couple weeks ago to save Brittany. Like, okay, now you go on the block. You wanted to go on the block. You wanted to go home. You
want on that block. Yeah,
exactly. And Hannah, you haven't been playing yet. Like, I want to see these people fight to stay. And so not that I want either of them to go, but I want them to want to be there a little bit more. So that's kind of what I wanted to happen. And it just would have been like a very dramatic.
Oh, it'd be good. It's coming at some point, right? Like we're going to have some sort of, oh my gosh, these two are on the block. What's going to happen? There's going to be a fight. There's going to be something's going to happen here. Some energy is going to go.
I would love it, but I don't know how soon it's going to happen. because like who's gonna win? So who do you? Okay, so Christian wins the veto. He is most likely not going to use it. He's the head of household, so why is he going to put up a third person?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. So chances are he's not going to use the power of veto. It's going to be most likely at this point Whitney going home. So who do you think is in best positioning to win the endurance competition that's going to be on Thursday?
Right. Now, do you think the endurance competition is going to be so is it all individual now, or will it still be team? Will there still be teams involved?
They haven't announced it yet, but I think it'll be individual.
Okay, so if it's individual, typically usually with the endurance ones, the women usually do a lot better. So usually the women do a lot better. So I'm gonna go with Alyssa, maybe.
That's who I think so as well. She's very sweet. She looks like she can hold her body up. And if it's like a wall, like I do see her being able to stay on that wall forever, kind of like I did not Daddy Donato season 8, where she's just on that wall for life. Like I think that she's small and very fit. So I think that she could hold on, and she's going to want to hold on because she wants to protect all the kings. So I can see her winning it. I can also see Derek X winning it. He's also quite lean and he's strong. So I can see him being able to stay up there for a long time as well, if it's a wall. And also if it's like standing on a swinging vine or something as well, like I can see him holding on for a long time.
Yeah. I'm hoping this is the wall. I like the wall challenge.
I was saying that I think the wall would be better because it would be easier to film. And if they're allowing Paramount Plus people to be able to watch it, it would be easier to be able to see what's going on with everybody if it's like, on a wall on one screen. Focusing on different angles of like people swinging, it's just not as easy to see. So that's my thought. Okay, Natalie has
yes.
So Nick and Sam, especially, is still it's on Twitter. Oh, so you're just kind of like seeing some of the old stuff, and you're just like re-incensed by their,
Wow. Yeah.
Not a fan. Not a fan of those two.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Nick should just from that season should just go away. I think Nick has. I don't know how you can make yourself look any worse in life. Like.
Yeah. And also, Natalie, what about what happened today with Whitney and Derek X? Okay, so if Alyssa wins, who do you think she would nominate?
Well, I mean, if she's sticking to her guns, Hannah could be in trouble here. Could be going up. I think that she'll also listen to the kings and queens because I think she thinks that that's a thing. So probably Brittany might go up.
And then Brittany would go home.
Yeah.
Wow. And if Derek X won, would it be the same duo? No, it wouldn't be Hannah.
So it couldn't be Hannah.
Would it be Derek F?
No, I think it could be. They might convince him to make a move on Christian and Alyssa
against the Royal Flush.
They could. The people could convince him, I think, because he's in other alliances, right? Like, I don't know how much does he think Kings and Queens is real.
Do you know what?
Is that
he pitched that he's like very tight with Hannah, and they took a shot at Hannah, and so to protect somebody in the game, be like, listen, like you guys wanted Hannah out, and I want Hannah in this game, so I need to take one of you guys out. That we're coming after my girl.
And then the backup there again, I think, is Brittany. Like, I think Brittany is in there as a backup for a lot of scenarios.
Very true.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, this has been fabulous chatting with you this evening.
Always great.
Sunday nights. And everybody, please, if you haven't done so already, please just subscribe. Just be part of the family. The reality realnesses. And yes, I'll be live again with Jonathan on Wednesday. Actually, we will be on Nerdtainment. So it'll be myself, Jonathan, and Sarah from Nerdtainment doing the Wednesday night recap. It will be airing on my channel, but we will be talking. Sarah will be leading us through the recap on Wednesday. Other than that, please leave a comment. Tell us who you think is going to win the next head of household competition, which is going to be an endurance.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see win the power of veto? Or who do you want to see? Do you want to see him use it on anybody? Who do you want out next? Give me all the tea. Tell me all your thoughts. Give me everything. You know the drill. Oh, lady, I didn't know you were here, Lady Di. Thank you for hanging out. We are saying sayonara. Till next time.
Bye-bye.